6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister has called for effective measures to counter hate speech and Islamophobia. The Foreign Minister, during a meeting with his Irish counterpart in New York, has discussed the overall situation of the region, including the prevailing situation in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The opposition leader in the Indian Rajya Sabha has described the situation in occupied Kashmir as very bad. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information says the federal and Azad Kashmir governments will work in coordination to effectively address the problems of the quake-affected people. Japan has offered assistance for the victims of the earthquake in Azad Kashmir. In Afghanistan, more than 100 Taliban have been killed during airstrikes in northern provinces. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has called for effective measures to counter hate speech and Islamophobia. He was speaking at a high-level roundtable discussion on countering hate speech jointly organized by Pakistan and Turkey at the United Nations headquarters in New York today. Noting the growing incidence of discrimination and violence based on religion and belief, the Prime Minister underscored the importance of addressing both the drivers and consequences of these phenomena. He cautioned against attempts to denigrate revered personalities and scriptures cloaked in the garb of right to freedom of expression and opinion. Imran Khan said marginalization of any community leads to radicalization. He added that religion has nothing to do with terrorism. Prime Minister Imran Khan has urged the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to take the situation of Hill Kashmir seriously to avoid a human tragedy. Addressing a dinner hosted by him in the honor of OIC Contact Group on Jammu and Kashmir in New York, he said the Modi regime is committing state terrorism in the Hill Valley. The Prime Minister warned that under the curfew, there is a serious risk of genocide of Kashmiri Muslims. He said 8 million people of occupied Kashmir are being detained illegally because they are Muslims. Imran Khan said if these detained people were European, Christian, or any other non-Muslim community, we can see how the world community reacts. The Prime Minister said the Muslim community across the world should make an effective strategy as to how they can stand up with the Kashmiris in this critical time. Rejecting the Indian claim of being a big democracy in the world, he questioned that which democracy allows such type of atrocities on citizens. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi held a meeting with the Irish counterpart Simon Coveney on the sidelines of the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. They discussed the overall situation of the region, including the prevailing situation in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Speaking on the occasion, Shah Mahmood Qureshi said Pakistan gives immense importance to its relations with Ireland. The Speaker, National Assembly, Asad Qasser, has stressed on the United Arab Emirates being the OIC chair to play its due role for the resolution of the Kashmir dispute in the wake of the recent atrocities by the Indian occupation forces. He expressed these views while meeting the Speaker, UAE's Federal National Council, Ms. Amal Al-Kubaisi, in Kazakhstan on the sidelines of the Eurasia Speakers Conference. Asad Qasser said Pakistan is proponent of settlement of Kashmir issue in accordance with the United Nations resolutions and the aspirations of the people of Kashmir. He said continued silence of the international community is a test of its conscience. Ms. Amal Al-Kubaisi, expressing her concern over the human rights situation and increasing tension in the region, emphasized the need of peace between the two countries. People in Glasgow staged a rally to express solidarity with the people of occupied Kashmir and raise awareness regarding the ongoing brutalities in the held territory. The rally took place in George Square, where protesters marched around the city centre to raise their concern on the oppression against the people in Indian-occupied Kashmir. A Scottish government spokesperson who was in the rally said, "We are seriously concerned about the current situation in occupied Kashmir, including reports of excessive use of force, large-scale detentions, restrictions on communications, and freedom of movement. The Congress leader and the opposition leader in the Indian Rajya Sabha, Ghulam Nabi Azad, has described the situation in Indian-occupied Kashmir as very bad. Talking to the media persons in Jammu, the Congress leader said he is on a 6-day visit to the valley, but has not been allowed by the authorities to even visit 10% of the places where he wanted to go. Replying to a question about detention of political leaders and curbs on political activities, Ghulam Nabi Azad said there is no mark of freedom of expression in the valley. The Chairman Senate Sadiq Sanjarani has said Pakistan-China friendship has entered into an economic partnership. Talking to the Chinese ambassador to Pakistan, Yao Xing, in Islamabad today, he emphasized the need for bolstering parliamentary exchanges and institutional cooperation between the two countries. The Chairman Senate said Pakistan greatly values its relationship with China, which has always endorsed the country's stance on important issues. Sadiq Sanjarani said prosperity and development of the region is the collective vision of both the countries. This is Radio Pakistan. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan, has said all the institutions, including the federal and Azad Kashmir governments, will work in coordination to effectively address the problems of the quake-affected people. She was talking to media persons in Jatalan, town of Mirpur district today, along with the Chairman National Disaster Management Authority, Mohammad Afzal. Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan said the quake victims will not be left alone and they will be assisted to rebuild their damaged homes. She said the National Disaster Management Authority and the Pakistan Army are playing an important role in the provision of relief to the quake victims. Earlier, the Special Assistant on Information and Broadcasting, Firdaus Ashik Awan, called on the Prime Minister Azad Jammu and Kashmir, Raja Farooq Haider Khan, in Mirpur and discussed the damage and losses caused by yesterday's earthquake. Raja Farooq Haider Khan said all steps are being taken to provide treatment to those injured in the quake. Dr. Firdaus Ashik Awan said the government stands by the Kashmiri people in this hour of trial. Japan has offered assistance for the victims of the earthquake in Azad Kashmir. The offer was made by the Japanese ambassador to Pakistan during his telephonic conversation with National Disaster Management Authority Chairman Lieutenant General Mohammad Afzal. The NDMA chairman thanked the Japanese envoy and said currently the damage caused by the quake is being assessed. The Japanese ambassador also expressed his grief and sorrow over the loss of precious lives in the calamity. A memorandum of understanding was signed between Pakistan and South Korea for enhancing water quality monitoring system in Pakistan to be implemented at a cost of $7.42 million. The project will be completed from 2019 to 2024, which will help Pakistan boost water quality monitoring system for improved public and environment conservation. Under the MOU, Korea International Cooperation Agency will extend water quality testing equipment and training to 36 laboratories of Public Health Engineering Department laboratories in the Punjab and 8 in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. In Afghanistan, more than 110 Taliban have been killed in airstrikes carried out by government forces in northern parts of the country. Army spokesman in the northern region, Mohammad Hanif Razai, said airstrikes targeted hideouts of the Taliban in Saripul, Jawzjan, Faryab, and Laghman provinces. Iran is ready to break the deadlock surrounding a 2015 multilateral nuclear deal if the United States returns to the deal and lifts sanctions. According to the Iranian state television, Iranian government spokesman Ali Rabai said Tehran is pursuing the interest of its own people and that if the sanctions are lifted right now and the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action is restored to its original status, there will be room for talks within the framework. And finally, the weather. Rain, wind, thunderstorm is expected at scattered places in Muzaffarabad, Rawalpindi, Jhelum, Chakwal, while hot and dry weather is expected in the plain areas of the country during the next 12 hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.